Hey everybody, this is Candace Adewale of The Loving You Lifestyle, and I am back with another video. How are you ladies doing? Welcome back to my channel, and welcome all my new listeners. I hope that all of you all are doing well. Today we are going to talk about the 6 steps to being a sovereign feminine woman. The reason why I want to talk about this in particular is because we are in the fourth quarter of our year. Um, 2020 has taken all of us for a loop, that is for sure. And as we move into the fourth quarter, there are only a few more months to this year. I think that I think that more than ever, it's time for us to step into our sovereign power. I was listening to my video about the things that we were going to leave in 2019 and just kind of chuckling to myself because, when I made that video, it was full of hope and, um, of course, with the unknowingness that we were going to be in the midst of a pandemic come 2020. But I still have a lot of hope. I'm still making plans on moving forward and living my best life. And I hope that you all are too. And I hope that these 6 steps really help you all move into that place so that you can own your power as consciously feminine women and just really live your best lives. So, anyways, let's talk a little bit about what sovereignty is. By definition, sovereignty or being sovereign is having supreme power or authority. And I think when it comes to our womanhood, it's very powerful to be a sovereign woman. When I say sovereign woman, however, I want you all to understand that by sovereign woman, I'm not talking about a strong, independent woman who doesn't need anyone or doesn't need a man. You all know that I am strictly against radical feminist talk that teaches women that they don't need men or that men are beneath them or that men are not important. Um, that's not what I'm saying at all. But what I am saying is that by being sovereign, that you truly own your life, you own your power, and it just shows in every facet of life and how you show up in the world. So, step number 1 to becoming a sovereign feminine woman is to own your past. When I say own your past, I mean that you make peace with the pain, that you make peace with the mistakes, that you make peace with the people that you have to love at a distance, the people that cannot or do not want to give you what you need to feel happy, um, making peace with your imperfections, which was something that I really had to reconcile in my own heart. But I'm so happy that I came to that place where I feel like I'm perfectly imperfect. I think that when you own your past, you have to forgive yourself for not knowing better at that time. As they say, when you know better, you do better. And that is absolutely the truth. Forgive yourself for giving away your power. Forgive yourself for past behaviors, past words, for not loving yourself enough, for allowing people to do and say things to you that were dishonoring who you were. Forgiving yourself, it means forgiving yourself for the learned patterns and behaviors that didn't serve you but allowed you to survive trauma or abuse or whatever situation you were in at the time. And, just going through that forgiveness of yourself so that you can move into owning your past. And that includes forgiving other people. That doesn't mean that you forget. That doesn't mean that you allow them back in your life to continue abuse. But it does something when you can do all those things and look at yourself and say, you know what? This is my journey. Even the ugly, nasty parts of my journey, it's all mine. And it's led up to this moment where I can make the decision to be better, do better, have better, and be the sovereign feminine woman that I really desire to be. Step number 2 is own your emotional life. One of the things that I can honestly say after my traveling to various places and living in a number of places on the planet is that most people all over the world are sloppy with their energy. They are. It shocks me, and I observe people, but most people are sloppy with their energy. They're sloppy with their words. They're sloppy with their vibration. And it's kind of sad to me. And it's, I want to say fascinating, but I don't think fascinating is the word I'm really looking for. But most people just go around and haphazardly give away their energy. They don't give any thought to what they say. They go from 0 to 100 in, a heartbeat. And even the people who claim to understand about the laws of attraction, because I mean, not at this point, it's no secret, no pun intended, but it's no secret about the laws of attraction. And this is a universal principle that's universally known at this point. And as many people as I meet that always talk about manifesting, and they have vision board parties, and they do all of these things, they still are so sloppy with their energy. Um, Saying whatever, doing whatever. And if you know anything about the laws of attraction, you need to have your words, thoughts, actions, vibration needs to be in alignment for you to manifest the things that you want to manifest. And so, one of the things that you absolutely have to do as a consciously feminine woman who is moving into that sovereign place is to know your emotions and have emotional control. And on another video, I talked about, emotional intelligence, et cetera, et cetera. That all goes hand in hand. But really understanding deeply where you are vibrationally, because our emotions have been given to us as an internal GPS so that we can navigate our vibration. It's all there for us to be able to manifest the life that we want to manifest, have the relationships that we want to have. And so you can't be sloppy about that. And you have to be purposeful when it comes to how you utilize your emotions and your vibration and your energy. The sovereign woman deeply understands this. So, one, ask yourself, are you even able to identify your emotions by word? That is very, very important to do. And if you don't, I will leave an emotion chart either in the video or on my community page, and you can check that out. But some of the things that I want you to be aware of as you're diving deeper into this particular component of being a sovereign feminine woman is understanding that if you are feeling depression, you need to look to see if you have any hidden anger. If you're feeling anxiety, you need to see um, what your needs are and explore what you're needing. If you're experiencing jealousy, and we hate to admit that we're jealous, but you need to know when you are triggered in that way. What that really means is that you're wanting something, you're wanting to do, be, or have something that you feel like is unattainable, and you need to explore what that is and how you can get that. If you're experiencing resentment, that usually is indicative of violated boundaries. So how can you have better boundaries about yourself? If you are feeling bitter, this means that you're withholding forgiveness, including forgiving yourself. If you're feeling anger, this means that it's time for you to change something in your circumstances so that you can feel more empowered in your life and have the things that you really want to have and experience. If you're feeling shame, I think shame is here for two purposes. One, it could indicate that you are having people in your life that are trying to define you, or two, it can mean that you're off code. I think that shame is can be purposeful, especially when you have group code, because that way that's how people know when they're off code and they're going against the group. So shame can be a useful vibrational tool in that way. But if you're feeling overly ashamed in an unhealthy way, then it could mean that you are allowing other people to define your experience, and you need to explore that and find some balance in that area. If you're feeling guilt, um, it could also indicate that you need to let something go. It could also mean that you need to look at your core values. And it also means that you might be allowing other people to define what you should do with your life. So, again, another useful tool. Sadness. Feeling sadness is normal and natural, but it could also indicate, you know, that you're experiencing a loss, that something you love and care about is ending, and of course, needing to explore that deeply. When you experience disappointment, which is which is a feeling that I am all too familiar with. The meaning behind it is that you actually tried to do something, but you didn't get the results that you wanted, and it feels bad. And just having to really explore what a loss is and what it's not, and giving yourself credit and permission to try again. And so, like I said, being aware of all of these things will help you to gain better control of your emotions, of your vibration, help you to dive deeper, and again, gain the sovereignty over your own energy, and making sure that your words, actions, and thought life and vibration are all in alignment. And if, like I said, if you're one of those women that you like to, or that you're argumentative, that you pop off all the time, that you say whatever you want, these are all indicators that you are sloppy with your energy, and that you need to explore these things. So moving on to the next topic, which is number 3, or the next point, which is number 3, which is own your desires. So be true to your own heart. What do you want from your life? What is your vision for your life? How do you see yourself in 6 months, a year from now, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years from now? Those are usually the time frames that I give for myself when I make my own plans, because I ask myself, okay, how do I see myself, envision myself during the next decade? I know that the next decade of my life, should I be fortunate enough to live that long, um, will require, if I wanted to look the way that I want it to look, it's going to require that I take actionable steps today for that to happen. Life doesn't just magically end up the way that you want it to be, just because you're thinking about it. You have to take the actionable steps for your life to look the way that you want it to look. And so, I know that I have to create plans for myself to at least come close to having my life look the way that I want it to look. Um, I look at how my life is now. I'm living in Istanbul, Turkey. I've just recently gotten my residency. I forgot to tell you, ladies, but yes, I finally got my Turkish residency, and I have my property here in Istanbul, and we're doing the renovations, and it's coming along great. And, I look at my life, and this didn't happen by accident. And anybody who's looking at me, who's thinking, oh, wow, her life is so magical. Yes, I do feel like my life is magical, but also I feel like I it happened on purpose. Like, and I had to get real about my desires to live outside of the United States, my desire to not be tied down to a brick and mortar business and and close my salon. Those were all tough decisions for me. And there were moments where I was going to allow other people to indirectly affect those decisions. Because I remember when I was closing and made the decision to close my salon, and there were a variety of factors behind it. But one of the reasons why I didn't is because I was concerned about the careers of the girls who worked for me. I was also concerned about my clients and they have been so loyal over the years. Um, I was a positive example in the community and I didn't want to leave that. There were lots of things, but then I had that burning desire, like, I just really don't want to be tied down to this anymore. And I was having, anxiety attacks, etc. And, when I finally made the decision to go ahead and close, it was such a relief. And, there were certain things like I realized, like the girls who worked for me weren't even that loyal anyways. One of them, like, um, took my email list for my client email list and was illegally using it. I had to end up sending like an attorney letter. It was a lot of stuff, but it all in long story short is that I had to really get real about what I really wanted in my life and not letting other people dictate that. But just even my desire to date abroad, after being divorced and coming to the conclusion that no, I don't really like American men. For those that you all who do, that's fine. And I'm not saying American men are like the worst men on the planet. Men are men, but I know who I am as a woman. Um, Culturally, I like it. I like men who are more exotic. They bring something fresh for me energetically to the relationship. And I just like that among other things that will have to be for another video. But I had to own that desire. Like, I like dating men that are not American, and that's okay for me to want that and desire that. And if I'm going to, you know, do that or have that desire, then I need to make a way for that to happen. And I'm in a very happy place now. Um, with where I am in dating and everything. And I just want for you all to, have the courage to want what you want and know that it's okay to want what you want. So make sure to write down your vision. One of my favorite Bible scriptures is Habakkuk 2:2, which says to, make the vision plain on tablets. Write the vision down and make it plain so that the person reading it can run with it. And that is so powerful to me because I feel like you have to do that. You have to write down the vision, make it plain. So get a journal and write down your desires. Make it plain so that it's clear to the universe what you want, and the spirit world, the universe can just run with your desires and bring them into fruition along with you taking actionable steps, of course. But yes, so um I'm just giving you this portion of the video is to give you permission to want what you want and and have the magic that you want in your life. Number 4, that is own your decisions. When you make a decision, whether it's good or bad, or the consequences, weren't what you were expecting, or whatever the case may be, just own it. Um, Baby daddy relationships, other bad relationships, people you allowed in your life, whatever the case may be, own your decisions and everything that comes with it. I see so, and I mean, that goes back to number one, owning your past, but owning your decisions is how you take responsibility over your life. Some people are scared to make decisions because deep down inside, they don't want to deal with the repercussions. And so they would prefer to be passive and live by default rather than just make a firm decision and run with it, whether it turned out to be good or bad. So, sovereign feminine women make their decisions and they own every bit of it. So, number 5, own your presence. So, I actually a while ago took a certification course by Rachel Jane Grover called The Art of Feminine Presence. And that weekend with Rachel, and she is actually author of best-selling book called Powerful and Feminine. Anyways, took her teacher training course weekend, one of the best weekends of my life. Like it totally solidified that I was on the right path as far as this feminine lifestyle, teaching the feminine arts to women, and really diving deeper into what being feminine meant to, because up until that point, the only aspect of femininity that I had been dwelling about or, talking about really was femininity as it pertained to a marital relationship. And after that weekend, I realized that there is so much more to the feminine lifestyle and our feminine presence as women than just about being married to a man and how you show up in a relationship, especially in a traditional in a traditional aspect of that. So, anyways, we talked a lot about our feminine presence, and we went through a variety of um, exercises and conversations about us as women and how we show up every single day. And I think when you own your femininity, you own your presence, you understand how your energy affects a room, affects your family, affects your workplace. It just becomes powerful. And so, as we are moving into the sovereign state, you have to own your presence. And also, this means that you understand how to manipulate your energy. I don't mean this in a negative way at all, but you understand how to shift your energy in a way and use the feminine principles and feminine tools to use your feminine presence to guide situations in your favor and to open doors for yourself and to make space for yourself in the world. So, making sure that you are hyper aware of that and that you really relish and sit in that power. Um, I think the more I become aware of my feminine power and my feminine energy, it just kind of vibrates all over my body. And I just deeply appreciate being born a woman every single day. Like, it's just so fun being a woman, and it's so fun being sovereign um, in that way. Number 6, moving on to the last point, which is own your sensuality and own your sexuality. So, sensuality, it's one of those things where sensuality is about using all of your senses. And there is a book that I am reading by a gentleman in South Africa called, his name is Lebo Grand, and he has a book called The Sensual Lifestyle. Anyways, I love the book because it talks about sensuality as a lifestyle. it kind of goes hand in hand with the consciously feminine lifestyle because you have to use all of your five senses. But I believe that, or actually your six senses because you of our intuition as women, but um, really making sensuality a daily part of your life, from the way you take your bath to the way you decorate your home to your bed sheets, what you wear to bed, your perfumes, the way you style your hair, the way you smile at people, the way your body movements. I mean, there's just so many different components to becoming sensual and owning your sensuality. I find it actually, living in a culture here in Istanbul that is a little bit more conservative, I am finding it a little challenging to find the balance with my sensuality. And I have decided not to be ashamed or hide my sensuality because um, here women are culturally expected to be a little bit more, like I said, reserved. Flirting is not overt, and I'm very flirty. And things can be misinterpreted culturally very easily. But there are still things that I can do daily to be very, very sensual. And that's what I focus on. And I think more women, a lot of women run from their sensuality because it makes them feel uncomfortable, because they feel like they're going to be taken advantage of. And I just don't want any woman to feel that way. Being sensual is probably it's like the fire to me that fuels sensual energy. It's like the charcoal. So if you don't light it up, it's just going to lie dormant inside of you and you're not going to have as much fun. And that moves into owning your sexuality as well. One of the things that I've strayed away from over the years is telling women, just being so dogmatic about what women should and should not do with their bodies sexually. Of course, for marriage minded women, I do give particular advice as it pertains to sex and maybe withholding sex to a particular time in your relationship. But however, at the end of the day, whatever you choose to do is whatever you choose to do. And so whether you're choosing to have sex or you're choosing to abstain from sex for a particular time, for a particular reason, all of it is powerful. Like I always say, if you choose to open your legs, okay, fine. If you choose to close your legs, that's fine as well. But in the end, the most powerful thing that a woman can do is choose who she is going to allow inside of her body. Like, that is one of the most important and powerful decisions that you as a woman can make. And so, in my personal opinion, that should be a decision that is taken with great care, because sex is not just physical, it's also energetic and vibrational. And for me, I just cannot be letting just any old kind of energies into my womb space. Like that's just too important of an area for me to do that. But at any rate, owning your sexuality and what that means to you is very powerful, and it will help you in your journey into becoming a sovereign woman. I think for me, in closing, this past probably 2, 3 years have been really key as far as me moving away from thoughts, schools of thoughts, from group negative, damaging group think, from my culture, um, the community that I was in, and just moving away from all of it and just finding my own place in the world, giving myself permission to really be sovereign and not really care about certain issues about and not care about being a social justice warrior, and being a little bit more self-preserving. And the sovereign feminine woman definitely has to be a little bit self-preserving, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I am going to go ahead and close this video. I hope these 6 tips have helped you a lot and will help you on your journey to being a sovereign feminine woman and helping you in this last quarter to move through the rest of this year and to start making your plans for thriving, not just surviving in 2021. We don't know exactly what's going to await us, but we do know that we can control, we can have and master the things that we absolutely have control over. And those are some of the things that I mentioned in this video. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video. Also, make sure to follow me on Instagram. And if you're interested in seeing my journey in Istanbul, Turkey, then make sure to follow my other, subscribe to my other YouTube channel where I share what's going on in my life here in Istanbul. I hope all of you all just have a great rest of your day wherever you are on the planet. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. All right, ciao.